Welcome to part 3 of this quarter panel installation. So, getting back to it, basically just concluded that other video, and I'm going to get right to getting this thing prepared for paint. So, first things first, I'm going to get this, kind of arranged out here and start wire brushing this area, getting the rust all, kind of roughed up and, hitting the wire brush and sanding it, and then putting some rust treatment on there. I'll show you guys what I use, and also getting this inner area, basically where there's any surface rust or paint, getting it all sanded. So I'll be painting basically this whole structure here, and also, where I made that patch there, in the inner mini tub, and probably, up here, kind of this sail panel area, and then obviously in here, similar to what I did on this side. It's real dusty now. But I'm going to epoxy and then seam seal. So it's definitely a big process, but we're going to get to work, and I'll probably throw you guys on the time lapse for, getting this all prepared. So not sure if you can notice, but I put the rust converter on there, and it's starting to convert the rust. So I'm probably gonna maybe call it a day here and let this all convert, and then get to sanding on the areas, like here, light sand on here, and also sand where I put the rust converter, and then I'll be able to spray it. It's hard to get it completely perfect and all the rust sanded everywhere, but I think it's gonna be just fine. So I'll sand, the inside, kind of where it's still got paint on it, and then hit it with epoxy, light coat of epoxy where there's paint, good coat where there's bare metal, and then seam seal, and then hit it with the black. Got the coat of epoxy on here, so now that this is epoxied, I can seam seal and then put on some of that black paint, and then finally put that quarter panel on this guy. So making good headway, and welcome back to another video. Figured I'd just shoot it and then tag up with you guys once it's all shot. So looking really good. I'm definitely not perfect, but it's not the outside of the car. So I did tape off where I put the weld through primer, to preserve that. Then I'll paint that black on there, pull all that tape off, and I'll have that weld through primer left on there. So when I put that quarter on there, I don't have to worry about trying to go through a couple stages of paint, and it'll be right into that weld through, and it'll be nice and protected. So I'm gonna get to seam sealing. It'll be another day, but I'll get to seam sealing and then that black, and I'll probably throw you guys on the time lapse for the black. Should be sweet. Got Stu all seam sealed here, so pretty straightforward. Use seam sealer, it's just like a cone or a tube of silicone. So seam sealed around all the edges here. You can see back in there. So now I should be ready to spray some black paint, and I'll put you guys on the little time lapse action and paint this. You can see I kind of masked off where I have that weld through primer. Not sure if I mentioned that, but keeping that protected, so when I do put that quarter panel on there, I don't have to go through a bunch of layers. So it should be really nice, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes once this is all painted. got it all sprayed, so pretty easy with that little touch-up gun. So I'm gonna let this cure, and then hopefully this weekend get that quarter on here. So definitely did a better job on this side getting everything lined up. So putting that quarter on there should be really easy. I got it all sanded in the areas that kind of need to be sanded. I'll paste that on here, and then still gotta weld this back together, and then I'll probably move on to getting the cage painted and getting kind of the inside of the car all prepped. And then I kind of got to come up with a plan of action of things to do next. But this video I'll mainly focus on getting that quarter panel on here. Really isn't that much work after after this is painted. Just got to paste it on there and weld it all in. Kind of the fun part begins once it's on there. Another day freaking working on Stu. So right now I got everything fit up. Obviously I got the inside painted. I think it gets saw. So I'm getting everything drilled out and ready for a final coat of weld through primer. And then once that is all on there, I'm going to get it all clamped in there and get to welding it on. So I'm finally crossing this milestone. Trunk lid doesn't fit perfectly on here, which I'm a little bit frustrated about. I might have to add some metal or just kind of live with it. It's not terrible, but I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like once I get this quarter panel pasted on there. And yeah, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. It's not bad, but not perfect, but you can't have it be perfect if we got a race car going, right? Got all my holes drilled in this panel. So in through here, down here, and up here, I got some holes. Some smaller ones up here since there isn't as much of a flange. Down through here, in here, and up here as well. So right now I'm making a template, or not a template, I'm making basically this piece of steel that's going to make the little area for my windshield or my quarter window. So it's coming out good, it should fit in there nicely. As I said, I'm going to put a piece of plexiglass in here instead of having those roll-up windows since no back seat in this thing. So once I have that all set in stone, I'm going to put some weld through primer in these areas where it's going to get welded through, mainly on the inside since I can spray it how I want on the outside. And then we should be set to get this thing on here. So that's kind of the main goal for today, and we're making good progress already. So stay tuned. Making super headway with this thing, so welds are coming out really nice. And what I did up here to kind of get the gap where I wanted it is I made a little patch for this area and then kind of pushed it in tight and then just welded that in there to set this gap up here. Because it's kind of hard, it doesn't really want to go in the right area sometimes, so sometimes you gotta find a way to get it set and then work on getting the rest in there. So I got all these welds done kind of in here and down, so I'm probably going to take the spot welder and do this lower part and then probably do some welds up here and then also do some spot welds down this. So radius up here is looking really good, and the door gap is pretty much excellent on this side. Kind of tight, but I think that's pretty much perfect to me. Around, I think 3/16 is kind of what I am targeting. And you can see I got this on here, looks really good, and should make a nice surface for that piece of plexiglass that I'm going to put in there. So I'm going to keep trucking on this. I'll probably maybe get a time lapse of doing the spot welds in here and down here. Always kind of cool to see. And then I'll probably work on around this area and also getting the welds up there. So we're making really good headway, and should be pretty easy to get this thing all welded in here this weekend, and then we'll conclude the video. So I'm definitely excited. You can see we've got both sides looking pretty good in the trunk gap area, and obviously this side's already done, so we're trucking and we can move on to something new soon. definitely a ton of welding in there. So I'm gonna jump onto this area and then we'll be spot welding over here. I'm just gonna probably tack it in here and do a couple and then spot weld there. And then I gotta do the top up here. And definitely gonna be some work to get this channel kind of reestablished. And also back here, gotta weld it and put some spot welds in there. So, you know, one recommendation I think I've already mentioned before in another video is to use that compressed air to kind of keep it cool and watch out for the warping, or to help with, you know, a reduction in warping. But we're making good headway. Definitely kind of brutal welding in the 80-degree weather, but we're making it happen. And I'm gonna keep working on this. We're making super good progress, which I'm always excited about. And I'm gonna try and get this all finished today. We'll see if we make it. Not bad for upside down. You know, definitely a little challenge. You gotta have your gun settings right when you're doing it upside down, but this side came out good. So you can see, got pretty much all this done. So my strategy with this type of area is to kind of start over here, weld it, and then pound it down, hold it down with something like a screwdriver you probably saw, and then weld it again and just go all the way over this. And you know, it is gonna have Bondo over this, so not the biggest deal if it isn't completely flat and all you know, wavy in here and down here. But you definitely want it, you know, try to get it sub flush so you can put Bondo over it. And as I said before, I'm going to be shaving these drip rails, so that's going to be definitely a journey. So I'll probably make you know, its own video for those. And still going to make a patch for this area, but these spot welds came out really good, and this area's shouldn't be too hard to fix. I think I'll probably contour it to meet this contour. And what I've been working on now, you know, I kind of made this little patch to hold it temporarily, but now I'm getting this all welded in. And to get these rails kind of, or the gutter, like the seal gutter, you know, kind of in the right place, what I've been doing, or what you have to do is sometimes cut it and then, you know, finagle it in there. It definitely doesn't fit perfect, but, you know, it's steel, so it's very malleable and you can get it, you know, to fit if you cut it. Don't be afraid to cut a little bit away. You can always weld it. You know, I'll weld through there. So I'm getting this looking pretty good, and then I'll probably finish this and pretty much call it a night. Spot welder tips are pretty much fried, so more are coming from Amazon for that. So I didn't really get the bottom down here. And then I gotta weld this to this, and then this in here. And then we pretty much have it all done. Or one more thing, then I gotta weld this, kind of fix it like I did the other side. But this is coming out really good, and I'm definitely fired up about it. Got a couple more welds to do on this thing before I'm all done. So this came out really good. Just gotta weld it here and here. And obviously I'm gonna make another video for, you know, shaving these drip rails, and also need to fill in, make a little patch for here, maybe up here somewhere. But right now what I'm working on is getting the welds down, you know, way down in there for the pinch weld that it goes to the rocker. So kind of a pain, but, you know, kind of doing the best I can. What the frickin' heck is up? So got pretty much this whole quarter panel welded on here. So I'm gonna pretty much cut the video off here. Got some patches up here and basically got this side all done. Still gotta grind it all and you know, get all those areas sanded down that are going to be kind of seen. But now I'm jumping into getting a patch up here, but I think I'll probably, you know, detail that out in the next video. Got a couple clips of it, me cutting it out. So appreciate you guys watching. Sorry it's been a little bit sent for a stew update. You know, this stuff is kind of exhausting. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Hey, thanks for stopping into the Bluebird Enterprises YouTube channel. If you like what you saw, give me a big thumbs up, and hopefully you're leaving with a bigger smile than you came in with.